Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Dad Fogarty.
And I'm Dad Fogarty.
And we are Fogarty, and you're the friends.
Yeah, Fogarty, we are friends.
And we just want to wish you a good day. We hope that you are all doing well. We hope you all woke up feeling amazing and got your exercise in.
Sorry about the loudness. I'm just watching my phone.
Yeah, she's watching YouTube Kids. I kind of forgot about the YouTube Kids, so I always had to go through all the YouTube and block all the things that I didn't want her to watch. Not that she would like watch them intentionally, but you know when YouTube thinks you like something, how the algorithm works. Sometimes it'll put things on you definitely don't want. So now she has, the more friendly kid stuff, and Dad don't have to search for it because it's just made for kids. Plus, it's a lot of the stuff that she had on her Roku profile as well. So, but rather than that, leave in the comments how you're doing today. A lot of people that watch our videos are not subscribed, so remember to subscribe, like, and share. And the videos are only going to get better. We are definitely doing better on posting, more consistent content. I agree that the content is not as funny as the other content, but I got my TikTok back on again, so that way I can use all the cool little stickers and all that funny stuff to make the videos a little more interesting. Did a really cool Grinch one last night. But nope, today I'm working, 10:30 to 8, I believe. Got a heck of a week this week. About 46 hours I'm going to put in this week, which is super, super good. We've been talking about going into assistant management, which I can't wait for that to happen. I know in my heart it will. And I know that being a shift supervisor for a while now, I've never been allowed to work anything past 40 hours because overtime is not welcome at KFC. So I'm hoping with all these extra hours, that means I'm one step closer to my assistant goal. And I can't wait because I definitely have never had salary pay before, and if that's something that I can do, I know I can do it, and I know I will get it. There you go. I just spit it into the universe. It's going to happen now. And plus, I'm on my boss all the time. Hey, you ready for another assistant manager? I'm always trying to be here anyways. They got to force me to take a break. And just like at the other store, though, I just said, you know what? I would rather just keep working instead of taking a break and then, leaving the team in stress. Because a lot of times, the reason why I don't take breaks and stuff is because, there's no right time to take a break when there's customers to be served. So, that is my main goal is to make every customer feel like they're having a nice, good home-cooked meal and to feel happy. And if I'm out there taking a break and then we're short on staff because I'm on break, what good does that do? So me personally, I would rather just have the time, modified. You can just modify it and say I took a break and I really didn't. But I'm not doing anything illegal because I'm actually getting paid to work and just willing to give up that pay. So that way there's no trouble with overtime. I'm okay with that. And I've always been like that with every job. But I believe that's why KFC honestly takes such good care of me. Because they know that I put my foot in that building to take just as care of them. I truly love my job. And I don't just mean here at this building, which I do mean here at this building, but not just at this building. I love working for KFC in general. I've never met any bad people. I've never met anybody who honestly came there just to pee off and not actually work. I miss the old crew from the other building. I really, really do. We spent a lot of time together, And it's kind of funny. Once again, I'm the only guy, besides the cook sometimes, but I'll be the only guy, and then, for the most part, during the morning, there's another man's supervisor here, which there wasn't at the other store, so that's different, but we don't really work together, so pretty much just all the other management I work with is girls, which there's other guys that work as, like, service members and cooks, which we didn't really have last time at the other store, so things are definitely different. I mean, it's all the same in the aspect of each place follows standards and code and, you know, does what they're supposed to, so, you know, there's not any difference there. You know, there's always the KFC code you gotta follow, but I love it. I remember when I had my first interview right after Diamond was born, and I was 21 because I can remember buying beer, unfortunately. Yes, I was 21. That was a long time ago. I do hate alcohol now. I've hated alcohol for a very long time. We all know that. But I was 21, just getting into my stupidity. So I'm certain I was 21, but based on when Diamond was born, I couldn't have been older. A long time ago. And I haven't obviously been with them since I was 21, but like I always say, out of all the years I've put in for KFC, I probably have about 11 years under my belt with all the stores that I've been in, and left on good accordance, you know, left the way I was supposed to, put in your, you know, it's a good place to work. I miss entrepreneurism though, and I am working on, you know, opening up another eBay store, but I can't do the 1 day shipping and handling, so I'm going to have to do 3 business days, because I always have at least 1 day off per every 3 days for the most part, so that way I can successfully get down to the post office to be able to take in the packages. But we're just gonna start off with jewelry, because I have a really good jewelry dealer that, as long as I'm willing to, you know, spend, you know, $600-700 once I get that saved, obviously, you know, I get like $3,000 in jewelry, so like, and that's like at $3,000 in wholesale, and then I can triple that. Sucks. I left. Well, it doesn't suck. I was gonna say it sucks. I left a lot of jewelry behind, and I actually meant to bring all the jewelry with me, but you know, we were in such a hurry, and we had to get out on the 20th of last month, and I was just worried about the things that Jasmine needed that I knew would keep her content until we got situated, like her Nintendos and her games, and I wish I would have brought, you know, maybe some of her other important stuff, but again, we didn't have much time. But that's the past, and no matter what, we were doing so much better now. I had an interview yesterday for the thing I was telling you guys about. Oh, the bus is here. Birdie bus. Birdie bus. I'll pause it. Tell everybody bye. Oh, I love you. Bye. See you later. How we doing? Have a good day. Love you, Birdie. Learn something new. But, yeah. So, now Bird's on the bus, and I gotta go to the store and grab Birdie some bird stuff. She gets so embarrassed when I tell her, hey, do you need more bird food? It's pretty much anything that she really needs, rather it be undergarments, you know, hair ties, or, you know, little fingernail polish or whatever. I just call it all bird food. So, you know, she gets pretty annoyed with Dad when I call it bird food. But it's because I love her. Oh, my bad. Oh, we gotta get rid of all this stuff. If I don't get rid of all her apps that she has going on, it runs the phone down, and then I don't get the calls that I need during the day. Because right now, so far, I haven't got, the other numbers. And I probably won't, I guess, as I say, the other numbers switched over. But I really probably won't. Because the other phone I have is just for emergencies. Thank you. It's just for emergencies anyways. I've had the same number since I was, I got that phone when I had surgery when I was like 25. So yeah, I've had that same number now for, 13 years? Oh no, it couldn't have been that soon. Yeah, maybe it was. You know how you get the free government, and then with, government phones, and with my, my health conditions, which my health conditions are really, I'd have to say they aren't good, but they're under control. I got like intestinal submission or whatever, where my intestines umbrella inside of each other. So it just causes a lot of abdominal pain. But don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We've already got this year, it's only been, the 13th was our 1 year anniversary, so we're on, the 22nd or 23rd right now? What are we on? I don't know, but either way, we've got some new subscribers already, so that's cool. The second year is already starting off good. But it's not really about the subscribers, in my opinion. I just enjoy documenting my life because no matter what, it's always going to be on YouTube. There's still the very first YouTube videos that the very first person put out. And if you guys all remember Vines, when Vines came out, which, I watched a documentary on the first kid, when that started out on that stuff, and that's just a amazing little adventure he went on. I love documentaries, podcasts, all that good stuff, so. And I've been watching a lot, as always, of Jordan Peterson's older, podcasts and stuff, and interviews with really good people. The one I watched today wasn't an older one. This morning I watched, and he was talking with a girl, I forget her name, my apologies, but the studies on like birth control and what it really does to the brain under the age of 19. Once you're 19, your brain's more or less, as a female, ready to go. Men, it's like 21, if I remember correctly. So if you do take birth control after 19, then stop taking it. The side effects are actually reversible. But if you're taking birth control, and there's a lot of different side effects, I learned so much about the, estrogen, testosterone, and then what's the word I'm looking for? The man-made, the man-made one, the fake one, we'll call it, and what it does, and how it mimics making the body think that it just produced an egg, so that way it's not actually producing eggs to cause a woman to get pregnant. It's quite interesting when you get down to the actual science of it and the molecules and like what it actually does. Same with the testosterone. But see, the thing is, with the testosterone, I learned today, is that like it's hard for them to study on like what gets testosterone up and down and like how to kind of control that, because unlike estrogen, testosterone can go up just by like your football team winning or getting a raise or seeing a pretty girl, and then it could go right back down for anything, but then it could go right back up again But that's not the same with estrogen. If your estrogen levels are low, then they're low. If they're high, they're high. It's really crazy. So, very informational podcast today. I love it. There was just a lot of information. And, well, I love to learn, so. And when I watch these podcasts, I really never know what they're going to be about, but nonetheless, it was a very good one. And then, but no, just the fact, like, for instance, with the testosterone, if you're taking testosterone supplements, then, like, you take too much, you get a little angry, I guess. Like, I didn't know that. I know lots of people that, well, I shouldn't say new, but back in school, there was a lot of people that were, taking extra testosterone when they would, like, for working out and all that other stuff. Now, I don't know if that's, like, the entire reason or if that's even a good reason. Never studied it, but I do remember a few guys back in high school that were, like, taking pills or shots, or I don't even think they were legal. I think it was like steroids as well. I don't know, but it's just a lot of information. But we are walking to work today because somehow, some way, the universe decided to just do a quantum jump when I went into the damn post office. So today we're in yesterday we switched from one universe to the other. Because, and there's, like I always tell you guys, there's always a sign when you're in a new universe, when you're in a multiverse. If you've watched my multiverse theory / deja vu, then you'll understand more in depth of what I'm talking about. But my pedal and my bike was just fine. I ride my bike all the time. I go into the post office, was in there 5 minutes, tops. I come back out, and my pedal no longer fit into the hole that it screws into. So just imagine the bike pedal being a thumb, and then the hole directly being big enough to fit only a thumb. Okay? Are you with me? But when I got out of the post office, my bike pedal was a pinky, and it just slid in and out of the hole. I couldn't even screw it in the threads because there was too much space. But before I went to the post office, everything was perfectly tight, obviously, or I would have been riding at the post office because you can't ride on a pedal. It just blows my mind, and I'm certain nobody tinkered with it because my bike was right in front of the window, and I was on the other side of the window filling out my change of address, so I could see my bike. So, like, there was no foul play, and I'm really not confused because I know what happened. That was the bike pedal that I replaced when it, broke the first time. Well, when it fell out the first time. So I replaced it with everything it needed. But when we switched universe, in this universe, that bike never got fixed. So there was just a pedal that was sitting there without the part. Now you can choose to believe it or choose not to, but you get signs like that every day. And we all do. Every single day you wake up, there is a sign. Because you wake up in a whole new multiverse every single day. The only way you stay in the same multiverse is if you don't go to sleep. And that's definitely not good. I haven't experienced that. And I don't want to. I don't know. And then the thing is, though, is in my theory, though, those that don't sleep, like those that do the stay awake drugs and stuff like that, if you don't sleep, I don't believe it's necessarily sleep deprivation. I think it's multiverse fuckery. Which you could call it sleep deprivation to sum it all up, but I think it goes deeper than that. It goes, I don't really, I can't give a necessarily example from experience, so I only have my theories, but I've heard a lot of people talking how the world gets really weird if you don't sleep, how things almost glitch, or things will appear to be there or not appear to be there. And I truly believe it's because you're trying to, the multiverse effect is trying to pull you into the new multiverse, but because you didn't sleep and get to that state of rest to where you can be transferred over, you're glitching in and out. So it's causing all this sleep deprivation effects. That's my opinion. I kind of want to do a little writing thing about that, because I still have the multiverse theory, and conscious life theory that I know I still have to put out with you guys. And I do need to make time to rewrite it, because the writing is so sloppy, because I got this information and this idea so quickly that I just had to jot down, and I had to jot down 7 pages of information that was just, I just had this idea real quick, and I started writing, and all the information I got was 7 pages. Now, when I read it back to myself, even I have to stop and really, really read things and kind of pay attention to them and be like, okay, what is this word? Because I wrote so fast. But I'm telling you, once I actually put it on paper, you're gonna be mind blown. If you follow this channel, then you'll know that I don't speak anything that probably makes sense to a lot of people. But if you listen to me and just take a moment to have an open mind, it's not senseless, in my opinion and others. This is something I've been told. I can't speak for other people. This is just, things I've been told from people that have listened to my theory. And I have a lot of it memorized, but not all of it, because it's a lot. It's 7 pages, and I write pretty small. So, I'm excited one day to really, really put it out there. And I believe what's holding me back is because I feel like it's so sensible that it would wake a lot of people up to a point to where they might not take life so seriously. And because of that, the government might try to shut me down. I don't want to lose my channel. That's how really detailed and what's the word I'm looking for? It's a good perception to think about. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. I got to meet 2 really amazing people yesterday. One of them, whom was the lady that I talked to when I first called up here to find, to see if Jasmine and I could, stay up here. And what is really funny is when I was talking to this lady, this very kind lady, I had no idea that she was the one that I was even talking to on the phone. And as I was talking to her, I was referring to her without knowing it on how amazing this woman was that answered the phone and directed me to the right place and got me help. And I spoke word for word what she told me would happen, was if I called. And, I had no idea that she was even the one that I spoke to. So after I was saying all these kind things about her, remind you when I'm saying these kind things about her, she's going into tears, but of course I have no idea why, which my interview yesterday, we'll call it my testimony on how grateful I am about this, this women's shelter that I'm staying at, and how, grateful that I am for the people that donate, because it's donation based. There's no government grants or anything that keeps this shelter open. It is strictly based off donations of kind-hearted people. And, obviously, I kind of get in the depth sometimes when I'm talking about stuff. I like to be very thorough, very articulate. So, like, you know, I really spoke from the mind and heart. And she started crying, and I couldn't really... I mean, I understood why in the aspect of, like, hell, I was even in tears, you know? Like, it was a good, heart-filled talk explaining how I got here, and I explaining, you know, that just I haven't ever lived the best lifestyle for the past 4 years I have, but before then, you know, I didn't plan on any of this happening. I didn't plan on having a parent that would be so violent and more or less, I won't say destroy everything we had, because what we have now is so much better than what we ever had. Being here in this new town, Muskegon, and being able to completely start our lives over with a new identity is a God-given gift. It is something that is hard for most people to do, both physically, mentally, emotionally, financially. You don't just really have the opportunity to get up and move on the spot when you want to start over life. If you're in that position to where starting life over completely would truly benefit you and your family. It's just not something that a lot of people can do. First, you got to find a home, then you got to find a job, then transfers, vehicles, moving expenses. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And, you know, we were in an unfortunate way granted the gift of doing so. And as I've said before, like, you know, I chose to lose everything. When I knew that I had to go to court and I was going to have to either you know, have the almost $7,000 because of all the damages, and mainly the damages, not even really back rent, it was just mainly the damages. And then not willing to lie, obviously, and say, oh, I'll figure out a way to pay it, you know, give me 30 days or give me something like that. You know, I definitely wasn't going to lie and willingly make my situation worse, because as I always say, lying doesn't get you nowhere. And what good would it be to have a home if it's based on a lie? That's not home. That's literally living in a lie. And I'm definitely not okay with that. But we all know that I have a past, and I'm open about it. I have a past of being a drug dealer. I made it 20 years before I got caught. I was dumb as hell. Started doing that crap when I was a teenager and about 14 years old. So, you know, I don't even share with people how I didn't get caught, because I don't want to give anybody the bright idea that it's okay to do. But regardless, I would have just had to make a simple phone call. A simple phone call. That's it. A simple phone call, and I would have had to do one of two things. Borrow the money, be in debt, have to sell dope to get out of debt, or front some dope, sell it, make my profits, be out of debt. Could have handled everything in a week. One phone call. Wouldn't be here right now. Whatever. But that wasn't me. I did not want to live that life no more. I made that choice, and, you know, like I always say, I made that choice April 29th, 2021. I made that choice that I was never, ever, ever going to do that stuff again. And really, July 7th, 2020, sentencing day, when I found out, I decided that I was never going to, you know, live that lifestyle again. And I have kept that passion, not kept the word to myself, but kept that passion to want to be a better person than I was yesterday. And I had no idea what I was getting myself into because I've never wanted to be a good person. I wanted to be the next Scarface. You know, that was always my mission. That was how I thought about leveling up. That was what I wanted to do. And I'm no longer disgusted with myself over it because I learned in order to grow, I cannot beat myself up for the things that I did in the past. But you have to learn from them to grow. And by learning from them, you actually have to put in the work to change. And then when I heard Dr. Joe Perseda, if I'm saying his name correctly, he has this amazing lifestyle change thing, and it goes a little like, in order to change, your personal reality, you first have to change your personality. And that was probably the hardest part for me, was changing my personality. When you go from always being the person that somebody can call to get whatever you need to being the person that says, don't ever call me again, I no longer want to talk to you no more, not because you're a bad person, but because I no longer want to be a bad person. And I can't be a good person if I still have the same people in my life. I just can't, I wanted to change my personal reality. And to change it, you have to get rid of the old and bring in the new. There's literally no other way. And the best part, and I've said this before, the absolute best tool I had, I should say, the best tool, the wisest tool that I had for being able to change my personality and then my personal reality was having probation. My probation gave me all the tools that I needed to shape a new me. And it, in fact, was easier than anticipated. However, there was nothing easy about it. I just honestly thought it was going to be a lot harder. But really, it turned out that the hardest part was just not having, I won't call them friends, I refuse, not having acquaintances. I've learned now that I've never had friends. I've learned now that literally nobody has ever called me to say, hey, want to go shoot some hoops, or hey, got time to go grab a bite to eat, hey, you want to go to the gym? Not one time. And I do mean that from the bottom of my heart. Not one time have I ever had that. But of course, that's because since I was a teenager growing up, when it's the time to start making lifelong friends, I was more worried about making lifelong plugs. I was more worried about making lifelong dealer friendships, places to score. I was more worried about, finding a list of addicts so that I could make my money off of them. It was so disgusting when I talk about it. I guess I do feel, not necessarily disgusted with myself because I know that I wasn't raised to know any better. You don't know until you know. And I'm not saying for one second that I didn't go to DARE class or I didn't do, well in school. I learned that stuff was bad. But when you leave school and you don't have any guidance outside of school, you fall victim at times to what I do believe is true, hanging out with the wrong crowd. Except I end up becoming the wrong crowd to hang out with. I won't say I was a bad person in the aspect of, I was never violent, I didn't steal from people, I didn't hurt people, I didn't even verbally get in arguments with anyone. I've never even been in a fight. I'm plenty hated by a lot of people, not according to me, but according to them. But I feel I earned that, and I'm not happy about that. There is a lot of people that hate me for something that I'm certain that I didn't do. You know, we all get accused of things, and a lot of us don't even know we're being accused of them. And I don't mean this very moment in time, but rather it was from a sibling growing up. Maybe you got in trouble by one of your parents, and like still to this very day you're mad about it because you're like, dude, I never even did that. But that punishment was so crucial. It was so unnecessary. You know, I did time in jail for a crime I didn't even commit. And I am absolutely positive through my probation that I have proven myself to be a man that's not a violent person. I don't even know how to do that. Like, I'll cry if I step on a spider. I don't mind. I'll tell the truth. I don't like any bugs to get hurt, or I don't wish anything bad on I don't really have any enemies. I feel like I'm an enemy of those, but I don't have any enemies. I never spent any time with anybody for them to become my enemy. And plus, I believe that if you have hatred towards somebody, then you have hatred towards yourself. I'm not saying that you should be okay with the things that people do. There's just a lot of things that are done that are not okay. But to hate somebody for it instead of wishing they could get help, so you know that's two different things. So myself, I don't hate people. I refuse to do so. There's absolutely too much hate in the world, and we definitely don't need it. Morning. You know, I'm the guy that likes to say good morning to strangers. You know, I love people so much, and as I take the same route every day, and you know me, I like to do the same things. I use the same stores. We are having our special stores. We create conversations with the clerks, build friendships. You know, we go into the Burger King around here now, and if they end up messing up on an order or something like that, and we're in there, they ask us if we want it, because we make it a point to let them know how much we appreciate their service, and just be ourselves. You know, it's when you move to a new community, it's okay to, you know, knock on the neighbor's door and just ask them if you could borrow some sugar, even if you don't need the sugar. Just do it to create conversation. And then it kind of like puts you in a slight debt to that person. So then that gives that person a reason to talk to you again. And then you can start building a friendship. And if you don't, have a neighbor, then you can also do the same thing just by, making it a point to go to your, a store or a restaurant and create conversation with the clerks and, the servers and service members and build a friendly relationship, that way. And if for any reason that they're still very, very sour after you put in much effort into, being polite and blessed and happy, then it's definitely time to find a new restaurant or a new store. And, I heard that from Jordan Peterson in one of his hundreds of speeches I watched. And I've always been like that, though. I definitely didn't need that to do that or to start that, but I didn't really see it from that perspective that I've always been like that, even if I wasn't moving. A lot of people know me simply because I randomly just go and ask them how they're doing. And not a lot of people get asked how they're doing. And sometimes they're not doing very well. And it always opens up that window for them to be able to get something off their chest, which then I just create an acquaintance that way, I guess. It's not really friendships yet because I'm new to this town, but it is something that will hopefully turn into friendships. We are sitting at the corner, so it's awfully loud with all the cross traffic. My apologies. My apologies as well for all the sniffles. It's that darn weather. There's so much traffic here though, it is just so much different from back at home. Like, there are so many 5-lane roads and crazy little off-turn road. It's cool. There's a lot to see around here. A lot to see. But I will tell you one thing. I don't know why. Like, in my other video I said how people say that, like, they're surprised I'm just out walking around on these streets, or surprised I'm out walking on them streets. And I can't figure out why. It don't make no sense to me. Anybody that I bump into, not physically, but just, walking past, and I say hi to and ask them how they're doing, I get nothing but a positive response. So I am quite confused, I guess, to what people, mean by, oh, you shouldn't have been down there. I'm surprised you walked down that road. Like, I am certain I know what they're insinuating. I refuse to say it because I don't believe it's true. But I can't figure out why they say it. It's, everybody's amazing. Everybody has a good bone in their body. It's just a lot of people have and choose to use their backbones. Not backbones, bad bones. And that's not really just my opinion. It really is the truth. Well, I guess it is my opinion. I believe some people will say, no, some people are just born bad. I disagree. I believe people are born wired all screwed up. Hell, I was born wired differently. And because of that, I truly feel I screwed up a lot. But that doesn't mean I was born a screw up. That just means I was born misguided. I was born with parents that didn't give a crap. I was born with family members that didn't want to take any time to say, hey, Brandon, calm down, focus. We don't do stuff like that, okay? Because I have never once, and I don't want to misspeak, but I feel like I have never gotten in trouble for the same thing twice. I truly learn my lessons from things. Now, some say trouble's trouble, so if you get in trouble once and then you get in trouble again, well, then you're just a repeated troublemaker. Well, maybe for the term trouble in general, but there are many things that you can do that turn out to be not the right thing to do, but if you're not taught, if you're not told, if you're not shown, if you don't learn, well, then you just don't know until you know. And that's the big thing, a lot of people don't get credit. You don't know until you know. Good morning. So, it's, there's a lot of black space in between, I guess. There's a lot of, different thoughts on the subject. I've heard a lot of different thoughts on the subject. I know I ramble on a lot. But making this YouTube channel has definitely been a way to release a lot of energy in my mind as well. Because instead of having all these random thoughts that go through my head from stuff that I learn about and just soak in, now that I talk about some of the stuff on my channel, I'm not necessarily thinking about it all day long, waiting to tell somebody, even though that I've learned that if somebody doesn't want to hear you, stop talking to them. But I don't really have anybody to, I don't really have anybody to talk to, except for my child, Jasmine, and obviously I don't have adult conversations with a child, so that leaves me limited things to speak to her about in the aspect of what an adult can say to a child. Now, there's lots of things to talk about with my child in the aspect of what a child can talk about with an adult. You know, those are two total different subjects. So, we always have lots to talk about. She is a chatter just like Dad is. So, unless you get her on the Nintendo. Right now, she's been playing a lot of Minecraft. She has been playing a lot of Minecraft when she earns her Nintendo time. I don't just allow her to be on devices. I don't think it's necessarily bad for a child to have device time if it's earned by structure and discipline and treated as a reward. But there are a lot of parents out there that use cell phones and video games and TVs for their own personal babysitters, even if they are busy working. But I don't even do that, and I'm a full-time single father with a full-time job. I'm so busy, and I'm about to go to school full-time. I'm so busy that I have to, the only way to truly be a full-time father and a full-time worker is do both at the same time. Literally have my child at work for half of my shift every day. When she gets out of school. Like today, I go in at 10:30, I'm out at 8 o'clock. Bird will be dropped off at 3:30. So she'll hang out for 4.5 hours just chilling, But she doesn't require any immediate attention. I check on her, give her the food she needs when she's hungry and everything like that. But I don't have to sit there and babysit her. So it is definitely a blessing to have a good child that cares to do the things she knows is necessary for me to be an accomplished father. For me to father her in the way she needs to be fathered. I'm proud of her. At 7 years old, it's not necessarily unexpected for a kid just to get up and want to run around a restaurant, or to maybe get on a table, or to constantly be coming up to the counter and asking for something, or I don't know. Obviously I have other children. Well, they by far acted different than each other, but kind of all acted the same, and as of being really obnoxious. Jasmine's not obnoxious. Jasmine has always been my calm child, my child that listens, and I don't mean takes orders, but listens to understand, and then processes the information and does what she feels best. Now, that's gotten a lot better since she's lived with me, but I also think that it's because I go into very, very strong detail on why I like her to do the things I ask her to do, and then what the results, I don't call them consequences, but what the results can be if we don't do it. And if those results happen, then there can be, consequences for those results. Now, I know I said I don't use words like the word consequences, but I just don't like telling a child, well, if you don't do this, there's going to be consequences. Well, that doesn't make no sense to me. Because, what does that even mean? So then if you tell your child, well, if you don't, for instance, I tell her, if you don't eat breakfast in the morning and just wait to eat breakfast at school, on your way to school, your belly starts to get hungry. Then once your belly gets hungry, you are now depending on being able to eat at school. And if you get to school and you're now extra hungry, and for some reason the school doesn't provide, breakfast that day that's necessary filling, or maybe you don't care for what their they're serving, and then you choose not to eat a lot. Now we're going hungry when it's time to learn. The consequences are for going hungry when we're trying to learn is that our brain doesn't actually work the same, and the actual, what's the word I'm looking for? The chances of you really taking in sufficient information, because you're going to be so focused on being hungry, is next to none. So now you just wasted a whole day of education because you chose not to eat breakfast. But that's why they say breakfast is the most important meal of the day, because literally if you're running in the morning without any brain food, you ain't learning nothing. It's not mentally possible, because your brain and your body's focusing on needing the nutrients and needing the energy to be able to provide the electricity for your brain to be able to make everything work sufficiently, And once I, broke that down for her a long time ago, she stopped missing breakfast. Even if she wasn't hungry, now she'll eat breakfast and say, I'm not hungry, but I need my brain food. And I don't remind her of that. I've never even put it in that terms. That's her terms. I need my brain food. But I'm proud of her for that, because I don't think she would have thought about it that way had I said, if you don't eat your breakfast, good morning, if you don't eat your breakfast, then there's consequences. I don't think that, I don't think she would have understood, nor I don't think she would have gave a crap. I mean, hell, she's just a little kid. How could you give a crap? You're not even sure you know how to give a crap unless you're taught. So, that's another good thing. And I'm pretty sure I've said that before, that you should always explain things to your children instead of yelling at them and telling them that it's just not okay. And now, I've never been a big yeller to my children. I've had to scold them before, not even really so much Jasmine at all, to be honest, but my older teenagers, but also back when they were, younger and stuff. I didn't know no better. I didn't take the opportunity to learn. I didn't try to understand how to be a better and more intelligent person. And I don't tell my kids I'm sorry for that, because sorry doesn't take anything back. But I have told my children that I apologize that I didn't care more about myself back then, to where I could do a better job of caring about them. My older children don't really like me. And it's not because I'm not a good guy now, but it's because I wasn't a good father to them in the aspect of spending time with them and teaching them like I do Jasmine. And then they see that, and, of course there's jealousy and animosity, and, it takes a toll. So, but we're about to, morning, YouTube channel. But yeah, so we are in the store, so I will let you guys go. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will have our video again in the morning. You guys all have an amazing day. I love you all. And yeah, just have a good day at work. Have a good day at school, whatever it is you do. Remember to love your kids, love yourself. You can't 100% love anybody if you don't 100% love yourself first. Just don't ever forget that. And I'm out.